The year is 1954. A new age has dawned, not of prosperity but of fear. From the irradiated sands of the Alamogordo Desert, a new form of life has emerged. These are not the small, industrious insects we once knew. They are giants, atomic ants, each the size of a building, now walk the earth. Their chitinous bodies, hardened by radiation, glisten under the sun. They are a terrifying testament to humanity's atomic folly. These creatures, known only as them, have become the planet's new masters, a swarming, unstoppable force of nature that has brought civilization to its knees. Their advance is relentless, a creeping tide of destruction. Cities, once vibrant hubs of human activity, now fall silent before their march. The sound of their colossal mandibles, shearing through steel and concrete, is a death knell for all who hear it. They move with a singular, terrifying purpose: to consume and to expand. The world's armies, with all their tanks and artillery, are but minor obstacles. Shells bounce harmlessly off their thick exoskeletons. Soldiers are scattered like dust in the wind. The ants communicate with high-pitched shrieks, coordinating their attacks with chilling efficiency, turning our greatest cities into their personal larders. Panic spreads faster than the creatures themselves. People abandon their homes, their lives, everything they have ever known. The roads are choked with refugees, a desperate exodus leading to nowhere safe. They flee from the thundering footsteps that shake the very ground beneath them. They run from the shadow of towering antennae that loom over the horizon. The ants are a plague of biblical proportions, a walking apocalypse that has shattered the illusion of human dominance. This is no longer our world. It belongs to them now, and we are merely a fleeting presence in it. The great metropolises of the American West are the first to fall. San Francisco, Las Vegas, Phoenix, all have been reduced to desolate ruins. The Golden Gate Bridge lies twisted and broken, a monument to a lost era. The once bright lights of the Vegas Strip are extinguished, replaced by the eerie glow of the ants' bioluminescent eyes. Humanity is in full retreat, pushed back to the sea, watching as its legacy is systematically dismantled. The world holds its breath, waiting for a miracle that seems increasingly unlikely to arrive. A new dark chapter in Earth's history has begun. Hope is a fragile thing, and in the face of such overwhelming power, it has begun to wither and die. In the remaining pockets of civilization, a profound sense of despair has taken root. Radio broadcasts, once filled with news and music, now carry only static or grim reports of another fallen city. Families huddle together in makeshift shelters, listening to the distant rhythmic tremors of the marching titans. The world has grown quiet, a silence born not of peace, but of utter defeat. The future, once a beacon of promise, has become a dark, uncertain void, overshadowed by the constant threat of annihilation. The cities that have not yet been touched by the swarm are now ghost towns. Their streets are empty, littered with abandoned cars and wind-blown newspapers that tell of a world that no longer exists. The infrastructure of society has crumbled, power grids have failed, supply lines have been severed, and governments have been reduced to mere figureheads, powerless to stop the encroaching doom. Humanity has been forced to confront a humbling truth. We are not the masters of this planet. We are simply another species, now facing an apex predator far beyond our ability to control or comprehend. The psychological toll is immense. People look to the skies not for salvation, but for the shadow of an approaching antenna. Every strange noise, every tremor in the earth, sends a fresh wave of panic through the beleaguered survivors. The ants are more than just a physical threat. They are a symbol of nature's terrifying power, a consequence of our own arrogance. We tampered with the atom, the very building block of life, and in doing so, we unleashed a nightmare from which we cannot awaken. The world we knew is gone, and in its place is a hunting ground. In this grim new reality, humanity's spirit is being tested to its absolute limit. The will to fight has been eroded by countless defeats. The army is broken, its finest weapons proving as useless as stones against the monstrous invaders. There is nowhere left to run, no sanctuary to be found. The survivors are trapped on a dying planet, waiting for the inevitable end. It seems that nothing can stand against the relentless march of the atomic ants. The age of humanity is over, and a new age, the age of insects, has begun in earnest. But the Earth holds more secrets than humanity can possibly imagine. In the deepest, most ancient trenches of the Pacific Ocean, something has been stirred. The same atomic forces that gave birth to the giant ants have awakened another, far older power. A creature of immense size and primordial fury, a force of nature that has slumbered for millennia. It rises now, not as a savior, but as a response. The planet itself is reacting to the imbalance, bringing forth a titan to challenge the new order. The ocean's surface begins to boil, and from the churning waves, a king emerges. His name is Godzilla. He is a colossal figure, a bipedal reptile of impossible scale, his skin like ancient jagged rock. Dorsal fins, shaped like maple leaves of bone, line his back, glowing with an eerie, internal light. He is not a friend to humanity. His eyes, ancient and intelligent, hold no warmth or compassion for the fleeting creatures that crawl upon the land. He is an alpha predator, the apex of his own forgotten era, and he has been awakened by the territorial challenge of the ants. The world is his domain, and he will not suffer rivals to his throne. Godzilla's purpose is singular and absolute. He is driven by a powerful, instinctual need to restore balance. The ants are an aberration, a corruption of the natural order that he cannot tolerate. Their unchecked expansion is a threat not just to humanity, but to the planet itself, and it is this that has summoned him from the depths. He is not here to rescue us. He is here to reclaim his territory. His arrival is not a sign of hope, but a declaration of war. A war between monsters, with humanity caught helplessly in the middle, a mere spectator to a conflict of epic proportions. As he wades ashore, his immense feet shaking the very foundations of the continent, it becomes clear that this is a power unlike any other. He is a living embodiment of the atom's destructive force, but also its primal energy. His presence is terrifying, awe-inspiring, and utterly overwhelming. The world, which had been cowering before one set of monsters, must now contend with another. Godzilla has arrived, and the reign of the ants is about to be challenged. The Earth is about to become a battlefield for titans, and the ensuing struggle will reshape the world forever. The city of Los Angeles, already a ruin under the ants' occupation, becomes the first arena for this monstrous conflict. Godzilla strides into the sprawling urban landscape, his every step a seismic event that crumbles what little remains of the city's architecture. The ants, sensing this new powerful challenger, pour from the shattered buildings and broken streets to meet him. They swarm around his colossal legs, a chittering, writhing sea of black carapaces and razor-sharp mandibles. They are a legion, an army of giants accustomed to overwhelming any and all opposition through sheer numbers. Godzilla, however, is not so easily intimidated. He is a veteran of ancient wars, a solitary powerhouse against a unified swarm. He unleashes a roar that shatters the windows of every remaining skyscraper, a sound of pure, primordial dominance that echoes through the desolate city. He swings his massive tail, a wrecking ball of muscle and bone, sending dozens of the giant insects flying through the air like discarded toys. They crash into buildings, their exoskeletons cracking under the immense force of the blow. The battle has been joined, and the City of Angels has become a hellscape. The ants climb his rugged hide, attempting to find purchase, to pierce his thick skin with their powerful jaws. But he is a fortress of flesh and bone. He grabs them with his powerful arms, crushing their bodies with casual, brutal efficiency. He bites down with a force that can pulverize steel, snapping their armored forms in two. Yet for every ant he dispatches, two more seem to take its place. They are relentless, driven by the cold, calculating intelligence of their hive mind. This is not just a test of strength, but a test of endurance. The battle rages for hours, a destructive ballet of monstrous proportions. Godzilla is a force of raw, untamed power, a solitary warrior fighting against a perfectly coordinated army. The ants swarm and overwhelm, while Godzilla smashes and endures. The destruction is absolute. The Hollywood Hills are set ablaze, not by human hands, but by the chaotic energies unleashed in this titanic struggle. Los Angeles is being erased from the map, ground into dust beneath the feet of warring giants. And in this brutal opening act, it is clear that this war will not be easily won by either side. It soon becomes terrifyingly clear that the ants are not mindless brutes. Their attacks are just too coordinated, too strategic. They display a level of intelligence that is both fascinating and, honestly, deeply unsettling. They learn from Godzilla's attacks, adapting their tactics in real time. When he uses his tail, they learn to anticipate its swing, scattering just before the impact. When he uses his jaws, they attack from his blind spots, working in teams to distract and overwhelm him. This is not random aggression. It's calculated warfare, directed by an unseen, unified consciousness. The source of this intelligence lies deep beneath the earth. The ants are a hive society, and their actions are dictated by their queens. These are massive, bloated matriarchs, hidden away in sprawling underground nests that connect cities through a network of immense tunnels. From these subterranean command centers, the queens issue their orders, communicating with their soldiers through complex pheromonal signals and high-frequency screeches that travel through the soil. The entire swarm acts as a single organism, a vast, interconnected superbeing with the queens as its brain. This hive mind gives the ants a significant advantage. They can sacrifice thousands of their soldiers without a second thought, as long as it serves the greater purpose of the colony. Their strategy is one of attrition. They can afford to lose countless warriors to wear down a powerful foe like Godzilla. They use their numbers to exhaust him, to bog him down, to inflict 1,000 small injuries that will eventually cripple the giant. They are patient, relentless, and utterly without mercy, a perfectly efficient killing machine guided by a cold, alien intellect. This revelation changes everything for the human observers who monitor the conflict from a safe distance. They realize that simply fighting the soldiers on the surface is a losing battle. As long as the queens remain safe in their underground lairs, they can continue to produce an endless supply of warriors. The ants are not just an army, they are a self-replicating weapon. To defeat them, the source of their intelligence must be targeted. The war cannot be won on the surface alone. It must be taken underground, to the very heart of the hive. Faced with this new understanding, the remnants of the world's military forces devise a desperate, audacious plan. They know they cannot hope to defeat the ant soldiers in a direct confrontation, and well, they certainly cannot harm Godzilla. But maybe, just maybe, they can assist the great monster in his war. They can become a scalpel to his sledgehammer. Their new mission isn't to reclaim the surface, but to strike at the hidden heart of the enemy. Using their knowledge of geology and their remaining arsenal of bunker-busting bombs, they set out to attack the queens in their nests. This creates a strange, unspoken alliance between humanity and the very creature that represents the awesome, destructive power they once feared. Pilots fly dangerous, low-altitude missions over infested territories, using seismic sensors to map the vast tunnel networks beneath the desert sands and ruined cities. It's a perilous task. The skies are not entirely safe, and the ground below crawls with giant hostile insects. Every mission is a gamble, a potential suicide run into the heart of enemy territory for a chance to weaken the hive from within. The plan is put into action. Squadrons of B-52 bombers, loaded with the most powerful conventional explosives left in their arsenal, take to the skies. They fly towards the coordinates identified as potential nest locations, braving the risks to deliver their deadly payloads. The Earth shakes as bombs penetrate deep into the ground before detonating, creating massive caverns and collapsing the intricate tunnel systems. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity is able to strike a meaningful blow against the invaders, not by fighting them head-on, but by attacking their unseen foundation. These attacks have a noticeable effect on the battles raging on the surface. In areas where a nest has been successfully targeted, the ant soldiers become disoriented, their movements more chaotic and less coordinated. Their connection to the hive mind is severed or at least disrupted. This gives Godzilla a crucial advantage, allowing him to gain the upper hand in his skirmishes. Humanity, though small and fragile, has found a way to influence the outcome of this titanic war. They have become allies of convenience with Godzilla, fighting a common enemy for their own survival. The war of attrition has taken its toll. Countless ants have been destroyed, but Godzilla is also showing signs of fatigue. His movements are slower, his roars less frequent. The combined efforts of humanity and the great monster have pushed the ant swarm back, forcing them to consolidate their forces. Military intelligence pinpoints the location of the central nest, the command center for the entire North American colony. It is located deep beneath the barren expanse of the Mojave Desert, and it is here that the final battle must be fought. Here, the main queen resides. Godzilla, as if sensing the importance of this location, begins a long, determined march towards the Mojave. He is drawn to this place, to the immense concentration of enemy life force buried beneath the sand. The ants, in turn, prepare for his arrival. The desert floor becomes a living carpet of black chitin as every available soldier is called back to defend the queen. The air grows thick with the sound of their chittering, a high-pitched symphony of impending violence. This will not be a skirmish. It will be the final, decisive confrontation. As Godzilla arrives, he is met by the Queen's royal guard. These are not ordinary soldiers. They are larger, faster, and more heavily armored than the others, a monstrous elite bred for the sole purpose of protecting their matriarch. They swarm him with a ferocity that dwarfs all previous encounters. The desert becomes a whirlwind of sand, claws, and fury. Godzilla fights with renewed determination, knowing that this is the culmination of his long and brutal campaign. He must break through this living wall to reach the true enemy. The battle is a spectacle of unimaginable scale and violence. The ground trembles as the titans clash. The elite guards manage to inflict deep wounds on Godzilla, their powerful mandibles finally piercing his thick hide. But for every wound he suffers, he repays it tenfold, crushing, smashing, and tearing his way through their ranks. He is a force of nature, an unstoppable juggernaut driven by primal instinct. He must reach the queen. He must destroy the heart of the hive. The fate of the planet hangs in the balance, here in the desolate sands of the Mojave. Having finally broken through the last of the royal guard, Godzilla stands before the entrance to the central nest, a vast gaping maw in the desert floor. From within, a creature of nightmare proportions emerges. It is the queen, a truly colossal being, her body a grotesque fusion of armored warrior and bloated, egg-laying matriarch. She is far larger than any of her offspring, her size rivaling even that of Godzilla himself. Her screech is a physical force, a wave of sound that ripples through the air and shakes Godzilla to his core. This is the source of the swarm, the mind behind the invasion. The final duel begins. The queen is not a passive commander. She is a formidable fighter in her own right. She lunges at Godzilla with surprising speed, her massive mandibles snapping with enough force to sever a battleship's hull. They grapple, two titans locked in a mortal struggle, their battle tearing a massive crater in the desert landscape. The queen's armored hide is thick, deflecting Godzilla's physical blows. For a moment, it seems as if the king of the monsters may have finally met his match. The world watches, breathless, as the two most powerful creatures on the planet fight to the death. But Godzilla possesses a weapon that the queen cannot counter, a power born of the same atomic fire that created her kind. The dorsal fins on his back begin to glow with an intense, pulsating blue light, casting an ethereal glow across the dark desert. The light travels up his spine, from the tip of his tail to the back of his head. He opens his jaws, and from the depths of his being, he unleashes his most devastating weapon, the atomic breath. A concentrated beam of pure radioactive energy erupts from his mouth, striking the queen directly in the chest. The effect is instantaneous and catastrophic. The queen shrieks, a sound of pure agony, as the atomic energy tears through her body, incinerating her from the inside out. But Godzilla does not stop there. He directs the beam down into the nest entrance, pouring a torrent of atomic fire into the heart of the hive. The ground erupts in a series of massive explosions as the energy ignites the volatile pheromones and vaporizes the countless eggs within. The central nest is utterly destroyed. With the death of their queen and the annihilation of their home, the remaining ants across the continent fall, their connection severed, their purpose gone. The war is over. Victory is achieved. The chittering that had become the soundtrack of humanity's extinction fades into silence. The ground ceases to tremble. Godzilla, wounded and weary, stands alone in the cratered, glowing desert, the undisputed victor. He lets out one final, triumphant roar that echoes across the silent landscape, a declaration of his restored sovereignty over the planet. He has faced the challenge and emerged as the one true Titan. He has, in his own terrifying way, saved the world from the swarming menace of the ants. He turns, his purpose fulfilled, and begins the long, slow journey back to the sea. He pays no mind to the human cities he passes, nor to the small, fragile creatures who watch his departure from a distance. He did not fight for them, and their gratitude or fear is of no consequence to him. He is a force of nature, a balancing element, and with the balance restored, his role on the surface is complete. He wades into the cool, dark waters of the Pacific Ocean, his massive form sinking beneath the waves until he disappears from sight, returning to his ancient, solitary kingdom in the deep. Humanity emerges from its shelters into a world that is both saved and scarred. The cost of this victory has been immense. Cities lie in ruins, populations have been decimated, and the planet bears the deep wounds of a war fought by monsters. But there is also a profound sense of awe and a new, humbling respect for the forces of nature. We have been shown in the most brutal way imaginable that we are not the masters of this world. We are merely tenants, living at the mercy of powers far older and greater than ourselves. The memory of 1954 will forever be seared into the collective consciousness of mankind. It will be remembered as the year the Titans walked the earth. It is a memory of the terror of them, but also of the awesome, destructive power of their vanquisher, Godzilla. He remains a symbol of both our salvation and our potential doom, a reminder that the world holds deep secrets, and that if we push the natural order too far, it will push back with unimaginable force. The king is gone for now, but his shadow looms large over a world that will never be the same again.